am really, really excited because Paul Moore stopped by our house today, and Paul is not only a good friend of ours, but he's also a natural plantsman, and he is a photographer and nature lover, and he combines those two loves into his work. And so we are super excited because since Dave and I just moved into a new home, we have a front yard, we have a garden in front of our porch that needs a little bit of help to give it some personality. And so we're going to just walk around the yard a little bit and have Paul give us some advice.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Paul.
Sure.
This is awesome. Well, let's just take a walk over here. Actually, there's very little in this garden that we planted ourselves. Most of this came from the builder when they did our, built our home. And it looks nice for the most part, but we want our garden to have a little bit more personality, a little bit more color, and kind of blend in better with the woods, a little more cottage feeling, a little more woodsy feeling.
You've got a good choice of plant material, basic plant material starting out. There's some things, just simple things we can do to really change this around. One of which is, how your bed just stops at the edge of the porch.
It sure does.
Well, you can extend this line much further on, make a much broader loop at the end,
and take it
on around,
okay.
and have a nice flowering tree or a grouping on that end. You could put, since you've got the nice woods behind you there.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You could do a grouping, either a single dogwood or a grouping of dogwoods on the corner, and kind of blend that woods right into your landscape, where your landscape doesn't just abruptly stop.
That's a really good idea, and keep some curves going and make it flow towards the woods.
Right, and exaggerate that curve and really pull that.
Okay.
And that also reduces the grass that you have and the mowing you have to do there. And
yes, that's exactly one of our goals. Is we have a small yard to begin with, but we would just like to have a little less yard to mow and just more beautiful things to look at.
And another thing that you could do, you could change up this little section right here and put like a fragrant viburnum or something in here, something a little taller, maybe it gets a little bit taller on the end maybe.
Okay.
Put a fragrant viburnum like a Carlisi viburnum or a Judi viburnum. They're kind of semi-evergreen, nice fragrance. You could do that.
And we could enjoy the fragrance from the porch.
Fragrance of that.
So would you start out by taking a bunch of this out?
No, I think basically you're okay, toward the end.
Okay.
Your holly's probably a little bit too close to the house for my taste. It's should probably be a little bit further out. But if you keep it trimmed, you'll be fine right there. This part where it meets the your steps here,
yes,
I would break out of this straight line right here and get a nice curve going in here.
Just kind of curve it over here, and we're actually also thinking of making a nice walkway, a meandering walkway that goes either from our sidewalk or from the driveway that goes around the garden.
Yeah, that would be nice, and I'd probably start it further out from the sidewalk.
Okay.
And just have it, where it doesn't conflict too much with your planting right there. And we could even further down the sidewalk and start, and get you closer to the side of the house right there.
We've thought of different materials. We've thought of brick. Because our home is brick, we've also thought of pavers. We've thought of kind of the irregular shaped flat rocks. I'd like to have something that's not too real formal.
Yeah, well, the pavers probably make the most sense, especially if you're trying to kind of bridge that gap a little bit more natural. I think the most important thing is to use pavers big enough that they're really nice and stable.
Oh, that's good.
Where you put those in, that they're they're not wobbling and so forth, and that'll mimic the and the style, because you're close to the woods right there too. And just have the nice big stepping stones and a nice curved pattern going around, the side there.
What would you suggest that we could do to our garden to add a little more color to it?
Well, one of the things is, again, if you extend this area right here,
yes,
this would be a great place to mass some annuals in here.
Oh,
Annual
sure.
color.
And this gets a lot of sun.
Right, you got plenty of sun. You could put lantana or any number of sun annuals, and there's salvias. There's so many wonderful, sun tolerant annuals right now. But just extending that alone would do that. If you make your bed a little bit larger,
bring it out a little bit further.
Bring it out a little bit further. Okay. You can do a whole nother layer of low growing annuals in front of those azaleas right there.
Oh, okay.
So then again you have that stepped effect.
Yes, we're hoping our azaleas will bloom.
I think they will. I think they will. They survive the cold, so.
And we have this beautiful backdrop of the woods, and so I really liked your idea of planting like a dogwood tree or something over there. Is there anything else that you can suggest that would sort of marry our yard with the woods?
Well, again, on the closer to the wood side over there, you can mix in some wonderful natives for attracting birds. Like spice bush. That's one of the favorite plants of birds for the berries. They have these glossy red elliptical berries that birds like. They have real pretty yellow flowers in the spring. It has a nice, loose, kind of informal look, just more on the woods edge right there.
Love that. Yes,
And
definitely love
that's a great one to add. I would also add more, mix in some more like red buds in here.
Oh, sure, because we have a few.
You've got a few scattered. You just want to kind of pull that, stop that abrupt end, at the woods, and just kind of loosen that edge,
and
along
like
the
you
pathway.
said, since we know that they already do well in the woods, we know that they're going to do fine when we plant more.
Again, over in these areas, like oak leaf hydrangea.
Oak leaf hydrangea.
Is a great choice because you've got the spiky conical shaped cone-shaped flowers. They bloom for a long time. They're fragrant. They got fall color. They have the exfoliating, peeling bark in the winter, so they've got something to see, all the time. You can cut the flowers and bring them inside.
And you were also telling us a little earlier about how we could just overall we could make our yard better. We have clay soil and it's very rocky, and you were saying that there were some things we could add to it organically to make our yard be more lush and maybe be the envy of the neighborhood.
Well, there are some products, and as is typical with most new developments, there is no topsoil. It's all been scraped off.
That's right.
So this soil is hard packed soil. There's not much organic matter in it. It's just got a lot of rock in it. So there's a product called Planters 2.
Planters 2.
Which is a wonderful product. It's a mined product in Colorado. It's got a lot of trace minerals in it. You apply it just like fertilizer. Adds those essential trace minerals, but the real magic is it attracts earthworms like a magnet.
Oh.
And then you get the aeration that the earthworms create, plus the worm castings, which is one of the best fertilizers you can use. Period. And then use organic-based fertilizers. I really like the Espoma brand.
Okay.
E-S-P-O-M-A brand.
E-S-P-O-M-A.
They make a holly tone for shrubs. They make a lawn fertilizer. You can use that to kind of build up the organic matter further there. And then those two things alone will really help quite a bit.
Well, that's awesome. I would love to try some of that out because I think having earthworms in here would make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, it's a big difference.
It really would. Well, Paul, we feel really blessed that we live next to the woods like this, and that we have nature, we have birds and animals, and we planted some bulbs and whatnot. So we're just excited about putting into suggested
There's a lot of wildflowers in those sections.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So just name me a few wildflowers.
Jacob's ladder.
Jacob's ladder.
Wood poppies. Trillium, some wonderful ferns like Christmas fern, lady fern. Again, it's much about the textures because you won't get as much flower color in the shade, but it becomes more what things look like after they leaf out.
That's right.
So, and then you can also mix some non-natives, some hosta lilies.
Well, we do have deer. That's the only thing. We have to be careful of the deer eating our hostas.
That is a problem, but there are some deer repellents that are really effective for that.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, thank you so very much for all of your advice.
Great to be here.
We just love talking with you.
Thank you.